Hi everybody, it's Jeff. I hope you're all doing really well today. This is going to be part 8 of the St. Chamond World War I French tank by Takom. I've already done the video, so we've finished all the build, and we're going to get some of the parts in prime. And so come along and take a look if you have a few minutes. And just a reminder, I'm only 2 subs away from 800. So if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't subscribed, please do. I really would appreciate it. Okay, I'm working with a brand new microphone today. You guys, let me know what you think of it, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's go down to the bench, and we'll get some stuff done here. Okay. Okay, here's the main components of the St. Chamond World War I French tank. We've got the hull that I've already got all together. I've got the floor, and I've got the 2 inner fenders, the tracks, and the front and rear plates, and the suspension and the exhaust. I've also got the cannon for the front and the machine gun. 1 machine gun for each side, and then another machine gun for the rear. I spent a lot of time working on these sprockets. I wanted to make sure that the tracks fit really nice, so that when I put the paint on it, it's not going to scrub it all off. So I spent a lot of time thinning that down to where it's a nice loose fit. So hopefully I won't lose any paint doing that. I've also done that with these rollers. I wanted to make sure that the paint didn't get all pulled off when I put the track on those. So I think we're in good shape on that. I'm going to paint this separately so that I can rust it up real good. My original intention was to keep this in several, like 3 major components: the hull, the floor, and the suspension, and then of course the tracks. Unfortunately, I've kind of rethought that a little bit. On the hull here, we've got an inner fender that needs to go in here, and I think it's going to be very difficult to fit that the way the instructions have it listed. It's going to be a prominent feature, and you're going to see that when the tank is painted. So I want to make sure I get a real nice joint there. The way the instructions have it done, have it set up, you're supposed to put the fenders on here and then drop the whole thing in, and hopefully it all it all lines up okay. But I want to go ahead and glue these in, and then put the floor in, and have all my joints looking really good before I do any priming. So in order to do that, I've got to put the guns in, because they all go in from the inside. So that's going to be a little bit of I'm going to have to be real careful when I handle things. So let's go ahead and get the guns put in, and the fenders, and then we'll get these main parts together. I'll probably go ahead and keep this separate, and that way I can paint it, and get to all the different places. So this, as far as I'm really, thinking, it's ready to go to paint now. Okay, and this is ready to paint, other than just cleaning them and things. So what I want to do, let's set some of this stuff aside a little bit. Okay, I want to get these guns put in. This is my first time using my new Well, I've had the camera for a while, but I'm using different software, and I'm using the Logitech Blue Yeti microphone for the first time. So you guys let me know how this sounds. I'm thinking about, well, I've already ordered actually an arm, to get the microphone up off the bench and get it up closer to me instead of having it kind of at my elbow. Let's go ahead and get these guns put in. Then I'm going to have to be real careful the way I handle things. So this is for the front. Okay. Get these parts out of here. There's not really much in the way of locating pins here. This goes in like so, and that goes, let's see, that goes like so. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. Okay, this is the bottom, so it'll go like this. Maybe I've got it upside down. Yes, I do. Okay. Always good to check. So that'll go in here like so. And if I'm careful with my gluing, it should all still tilt. So let's go ahead and let's use the quick setting. Yeah, if you saw my last video, I finally was able to upgrade to a full PC. I've been using a Chromebook for a long time, and it just has so many limitations on what it can do. Get this side a little bit. Okay. There's our cannon in. And then we've got a machine gun to go on this side. And it'll go, make sure I'm looking at it right. It'll go this way. We'll put that way. Put that in. Whoops. Try one more time here. Okay, let's get this up like so, and we'll drop this in. There, that's how it goes, just like so. Okay, and it still traverses. Put just a little more glue on that. Okay, then we've got machine guns to go here, and then one at the back. I would prefer to do those later, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out that way. Okay, these are for each side from step 8. Get my note out of there. We've got the two. I've already put this part in here. It's just kind of a finishes off the hole on the outside a little bit. we've got the machine gun to go in. And then the little plate to go over it. There it goes. With the, and you know, all the stuff on the inside here you're not ever going to see, so I'm not too worried about painting it. Okay. So there's that machine gun. This one. Okay. Come here. And there's that one. Okay. And one for the back. See, I'm going to break these. You got to be really careful. These have to go in from the inside, and then I have to put this over it to where I can get the seams finished real nice. I would just as soon do them at the very end, but it's not going to work out that way. Okay, one for the back. Okay, where's my tweezers? That'll help. Okay. Just a little tight. Looks like I'm going to have to do just a little fitting. Okay. I didn't check that ahead of time. I just assumed it would sit in there okay. But these are a little bit little thick. So what I need to do is file the top and bottom of these just a tiny little bit. And let's see here. Okay. The reason I'm flipping the file is this particular file, and a lot of files have a cutting edge and a safe edge. So I'm using the safe edge up against this pin so that I'm not actually filing it. Okay, so some files are like that and some are not, but there's the safe edge, and if you don't want to cut, you put the safe edge against the part that you don't want removed. Okay, let's see now how we go. That looks better. And it looks to me like there's a, aha. Okay, this piece has got a wide side and a narrow side. So it needs to be reversed. Nothing said about that in the instructions. Of course, I'm finding a lot of things that are lacking in the instructions. Okay. There we go. That's got it in there. It is a little on the tight side. Okay, a little more glue down that side. Okay, I'm going to call that good. What I'm thinking about, the instructions want you to put, let's see, they want you to put these on like this. Okay, and then put that inner fender part on, and then drop the whole thing in. And I think I want to do it a little differently, and I may be completely wrong on this, but what I'm going to do, let's set this aside for a minute. I'm going to glue this in here, and there's a lip just right here that has got to go against the hull. It fits really, it's a really nice fit if you can get it there, but I want to put this in here, and I've got this, let's see, that's the, I'm backwards, I believe. And that's the, make sure there's a, got the lip going the right direction. Come on. There we go. And that lip's got to be out to where that's going to go against the hull. So let's go ahead and glue that in from the back side. Okay. And when I saw this lip, I thought, boy, that's a really wide mold seam. And I almost sanded it off. I thought, no, I better check before I do that. And I was right. It's actually a necessary feature. Just a little more glue in there. Okay, so I've glued the middle. I have not glued these edges yet because I want to make sure they conform with the other parts. So let's do this one. Make sure the lip is facing out. Yep. Okay, there were just a few little sink marks in there, but I sanded most of them out, and I don't think the rest will be visible at all. I'm gonna have to pull my brush out a little bit. I'm getting kind of low in this this container. I love this quick setting for the right application. Okay, and there's our little lip sticking out right there. Make sure that's all the way forward. Okay. Okay. All right. That looks pretty good. What I was thinking about is actually attaching these first. And then dropping the floor into it. That way I can make sure this edge has got a really nice seam. Because that's going to be very visible. And then the other parts, you know, if the seam is not perfect, it's not going to really be noticeable. Okay. That's what I'm going to do, I think. Let's see what I can do here. Get this where I want it. Sorry if you can't see. See, I want a really nice seam right there. Okay. There we go. I'm happy with that. See, that's a nice tight seam all the way down. I'm going to hit those guns and knock them off. Might be a little more glue there. Before I paint, I'll go over and sand that edge just a tiny little bit. Make sure there's no glue marks. Give that a second to go off. Okay, so when you look at that now, it looks, you know, like it's got a really good fit. I was afraid doing it the other way that there would be a big gap, and it'd be really hard to fix it. Let's go ahead and do this side. Whoop. Like so. Come on. Get it just the way I want it here. Okay. There are some little, uh-oh, what happened here? I think my computer, it timed out on me. I hope that didn't mess things up. No, it's still recording. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to make sure and set it to where it doesn't go to sleep after a certain amount of time. Okay. All little things you don't think about. Okay. Let's give that a second. Okay, now if you look in there, that's a real nice seam. I'm happy with that, if everything else fits now. Okay, now what we have to do, I'm not even sure if it's necessary to glue these in or not. I've got a couple little pins. Okay, so what we need to do is get this in here like so, and we hope it all fits okay. That goes in. I'm looking at the pins inside. That goes in. That needs to come in just a tiny bit. Tiny little, there we go. I'm going to have to hold that a little bit as I glue it, but that fits great. I was really worried about that not sitting correctly. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's get a little glue in here. We'll put some in here. And I'll pull it down. Just hold it for a second. I didn't really see any other way of doing this. Stuck. Okay. Get the back. This is not exactly the way the instructions say to do it, but I think this is a better choice. There we go. Just a matter of holding it for a second until the glue starts to firm up. I may fast forward through some of this. I'm sure it's boring to you guys. I really like these old World War I tanks. I'm hoping to pick up a few more, and I'm going to be getting back on my Austin World War I armored car. Well, actually, it's not World War I. It's post World War I. by just a tiny bit. Just hold that again for a second. Like watching glue dry, huh guys? Okay, that's where that quick setting does a nice job. Okay. It does fit well once it all goes together. Still doesn't want to close up right there completely. Let's get this end. Yeah, I like the kit. I think the plastic's really good. I had a couple of issues with fit. The instructions on this were absolutely terrible. I didn't really follow them at all. And there was actually several parts that the instructions were not numbered. That type of thing. I need to pinch that down a little bit more. Well, you got one spot there that just doesn't want to. There it goes. Okay. Get a little more glue on there. Not quite sitting together there. Just a matter of holding it for a second, I guess. Yes, that did it. Popped right in. Just give it a second. Okay. There we go. That was quite a chore. Getting it right side up. We have these to put on and a couple other little components, and this will be ready for some primer. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the front. This is something I noticed too. In the parts, there's two of these. Okay, one of them has these two holes here and one of them does not. The instructions don't list the other one anywhere. This is the one the instructions call for. So this is the one I'm going to use. But I don't understand quite why there's two of them and why one of them is used and one of them isn't, unless there's a different version or something out there. I know there's an early and a late. This is actually the late, so maybe it's for the early version. Now this is going to be a bit tricky too. This is supposed to go right there. I'm trying to get it to all. That's what we want, just like that. Now, we can keep it there or somewhere near there. I'll get some glue in there. That's not quite pulled down there, but it will be. Okay. Fits really well once you get it there. Still needs glue in a couple of spots. Come on. Sorry guys, this is just a very tedious little thing here. A little more glue in there. It's really close. Really close. I really want to build the whole tractor. There's Rodin makes a kit. I'm a little bit leery of Rodin, but any of you guys out there build that? It's kind of an interesting subject. Same era as this, or maybe actually just a little bit before. That way, that's really close. Just got a little gap there I need to close up. There's no real way of clamping it, and don't break the guns. There we go. It's still got just a tiny bit of a gap there. I might have to put some filler in it, but I think that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to stop the camera here for a minute, guys, and then I'll be back, and we'll put we got a little hook and stuff that goes on here, and then the rear plate, and then that thing's ready for some paint. Okay, be back in a couple minutes. Okay, I've got a little hook I need to put on here. Before I do that, I want to work on this seam just a tiny little bit. I'll put a little filler in the corners because there's just a tiny bit of a gap. That would drive me crazy if I left that like that. But I'll do that off camera, and then I'll add the little hook to the front. So let's go ahead and get this on the back. This will go like so. And it's a pretty good fit. Okay, I might have to do a little work on it also. Let's see. I also extended the brush in my quick setting a little bit so I can get a little more glue. I think that might have been part of the issues I was having. I wasn't picking up quite enough glue to do anything. So this is where this is going to go. Let's see if we can't get it pretty close. I would just as soon, yeah, let's see here. I might do some of the regular on one side just to get things started. We'll get this side snugged up good and then work on the other side. That part fits pretty decent. If we can get the other side to fit, we'll be okay. I'll just hold this. Alrighty, I'm back. I had to wait a while for lawnmowers to stop. They may start up again at any moment, so we'll try and get through this. I use the Vallejo plastic putty. Works really good. It's water soluble. Put it on, wipe it off with a wet Q-tip or a cotton bud. I've got this is all glued on. We saw in the last video. I glued these on off camera. It's just a little plate, no big deal. Went on really easy. I filled this little corner here, and I sanded this back just a tiny little bit. It was overlapping, and I put just a little bit of filler in here. Okay, so I've got to glue my last little piece on here, last couple little pieces, and of course I need to lose the glasses. Okay, so what we've got, and make sure I'm doing it the right way. Okay, this goes right here. Okay, so we'll drop a little glue in there. In there. Set it in. Okay. Okay, and our last piece, it's just this little ring here, and it doesn't even glue in. It just goes on here like so. If it'll go, there we go. Okay, that's ready for paint. I'll clean it good with alcohol, get all my fingerprints off, and then I will get some primer on it. While I was waiting for the lawnmowers to stop, I did a prime on these parts. So I'm going to go ahead and save those back, and I'll get this primed, and then when we start the next video, we'll get the base coat down, and I'll start figuring out my camo pattern. It's going to be really interesting. I got a couple to choose from. Let's see here. Whoop, excuse me. I really like this one. It's pretty complicated. I'm sure it'd be mostly all brush painting. And then there's this one here, and then there's this one here with the lines. I like this one too. I'm not sure about these lines. I might be able to do them with a Posca pen. I'm going to have to do a little practicing and see just what I can do. But those are our choices. and we'll be working on that next time. Alrighty guys, I'm going to call this good, and next time you see me we'll have primer on this and we'll start looking at getting some paint done. Really appreciate you guys watching. We're just right up against 800 subs. If you are watching and haven't subbed yet, I'd really appreciate it if you'd sub. Keep the channel growing, and you guys all have a great day, okay? And we'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.